With villages of wives, you say spinning in circles, clapping and stamping the ground for the cunning selfish folk wielding cameras is a way out of shame. Before your army of famished children, now your sly daughters and wives with shy smiles twirl and turn in bed to please these beer-reeking tourists and the slothful nicotine-belching ministers. Just for $1. £1 sterling, €1, a slice of bread and a bowl of soup. You dance until your feet are bloodied. Dreams muffled by despair, ready to be called January, Joao, Jones, selling your heritage too cheaply. You dance in hotels and airports. This dance in beaches and curio shops. This dance in gala nights and banquets. This futile ethnic tom-tom dance, where is my bones? And I ask, dear African child, is this the meaning of your freedom?
And I'm very happy to welcome Haga Peters from Amsterdam.
The door ajar. The door ajar offered a glimpse of the bedroom where Sarah basked in her expensive afternoon, toying with all her hours like an infant with its toes, pointing at the seconds like a second hand and claiming that each one that passed was hers. She lacked all sense of urgency, and if she did have an internal clock, its ticking didn't penetrate. It was too late. Suddenly, it dawned on her. I've slept right through the mother I did not become, the one who got up in the dead of night to nurse her child. She knows I wasn't ripe for it yet. I, her older sister, her mistress, always a step behind her, less tried and tested in rolling over from one side to the other. Even time itself didn't wake me. Right up to the moment when dawn irons away the last remnants of night, she watches over everything, even over the never having become the person she is, and she understands it better than I do, and is at peace with it. The rot is setting in. Demolition looms. Abraham has been nagging for so long. He simply must have progeny. He must, even if it isn't mine. Perhaps our mate from Egypt. I see him leering at her, the bastard. Even she sweeps the floor under his feet, and he, well, pretending to read, glances at her from under his paper. A glance he never casts at me anymore. He calls her Venus, of all things, though her name is Hagar. It seems to me it's not such a crazy idea if, for this special occasion, he should have her. Then we'll keep the child and dump her in the Sahara during our holiday. I've broached the subject with him. He sees a loophole. There, he says, laughs. And she doesn't speak our language yet, so we can't ask her anything. Nor will she know the way to the police once he has raped her, so that's all right. He may as well do it tonight. Terima kasih.
That was a boring seminar. It's raining. Every time I see a tree, I want to write about it, the way it stands there, in the rain. I felt sick to my stomach when I read about the new cutbacks in the papers today. Maybe it was just a hangover. I felt nausea. You can easily get the idea that there's nothing else in the world but marital problems and pedophiles. The room they've given me is cold, but richly furnished. Anyone who seizes the telegraph wire and the national press can lead a great nation. The ceiling is high. There's noise from the other rooms. The water in the pipes hisses like gas. I'm a danger to all the married women I know, because I'm unhappy, and I don't want to be. Suddenly one day it happens anyway. The snowstorm everyone we talks about strikes our cabin too. The slightly sour air in the room where I sat all day and read Len Hegenian writes suddenly, "Are your fingers in the margin?" I look in fright to see. Desperation is so unbecoming. I sent several telegrams out to nothing, or letters and emails, text messages, while I wait for the next line, wait for time to pass by itself. But time does not pass by itself. You need to have something with you, a kind of basis, a kind of fuel, an old friendship, for example, that can grow older, something to look back on. I wash the floor, air out, clean up the kitchen. It helps nothing. I've begun looking at people's faces. People I know have been through the same thing or something like the same thing. Can you see something? Did they come out on the other side, as they say? And what can they say about that when I ask and ask and ask and feel I'm getting nowhere? I'm just getting older. Thank you.
Angel's Wings. I can recall that age very well, 14 years old, when I thought I understood Lenin and Mao, and Christina Rossetti was beginning to sound silly. One April Saturday morning, after swimming lessons, I stood waiting for my father, pacing the formaldehyde-stung corridor. I twirled equidistant between the autopsy room and his office. My 11-year-old brother and I together, but silent for a quarter of an hour. 20 pairs of lungs pinned up on his wall, a collage of black and gray, here and there some chalky yellow, some fungus-furred green. How long did we stand there, and what did we say? I don't remember eating lunch or what we did for the rest of that day. Only those 20 pairs of nameless lungs, the intimate gossamer of 20 people I never knew, lungless in their graves. Thank you.
Voting time. I lie so still my leg begins to spasm, so the sweat on my forehead melts my skin. I stop breathing so no air can shake me, and the ground begins to sink, my wax thumbprint. A fly buzzes just above my big toe, confusing the air with its zigzags this way and that. I can't swat it or flick it away. The ants in my pants tickle, pinching now and then, freely marching neatly one behind the other, single file up my spine. Lie still, lie still, still lies, still more lies until the right time. My bruises ooze colors unreal to the human mind, and my elbows shoulder my hurts until somebody finds me. I couldn't recover this time round from the bullets of betrayal. They loaded the whole magazine into me. Perforated, spread thin on the white ballot marked X, that's when I fell, caved in from the knees of disbelief. How could my own people do this to me? Africa way. Terima kasih.
Liak lanang, liak wadon, liak gede. Ya hawa sama bana tasi tama bana sawahayai mata si tasi ya yang durga biang durga yang raja sembahku raja raja samleh semelulung ayam samleh raja getah getih rah reh roh. Jadikan api, jadikan api, jadikan api, jadikan api, seringan angin, seringan angin, seringan angin, seringan angin. Api jantungku api, paruku api, empeduku api, hatiku api, ubunku api, pusarku api, limpaku api, jeruanku api, lidahku api, mataku api. Aku waras ijo meyo, bajro kaliko, bramo kamolaro sido malung karwang agung. Aku harak api, liak lanang, liak wadon, liak kedi. Mari liak. Mari nari hiri dengkit lo desti rupa rupi maya mai. Suburkan bencana. Abah cadapa gajah kalaman apa karasa tapa wakayah sapet petah. Mari lihat.
But I'm going to read you a poem about how I see my cold island. It's called Patriotic Poem. The cold makes me a lair from fair places, a pillow of downy drift under my head, a blanket of snow to swaddle me in. I'd lay my ear to the cracking of the ice in the hope of hearing it retreat. If I didn't know, I'd be frozen fast. The ice lets no one go. My country, a spread deathbed. My initials stitched on the icy linen.
Air bening, kuning dan merah berubah lumpur mengaliri darah dan isi kepalanya. Lelaki tengah malam mengusap satu-satu, menenggak satu-satu isi botol-botol plastik, pengganti anggur dan saguer. Terus bergerak perlahan, menyusuri lorong gelap kali kering penuh bayang-bayang. Hening sepi, hanya sampah, sisa bayang-bayang rembulan. Di bekas dusun sagu itu, lelaki tengah malam terkapar mati.
Surat untuk sahabat. Apa yang terjadi pada sebuah persahabatan ketika daunan tinggal tulang, terserang nekrosis, meranggas, dan angkasa mencuri hutan dari pertiwi. Sekotak puzzle, hasil patungan kita berserakan di lantai kamar. Padahal aku mengharap kepingannya cukup untuk membayar nisan yang dipesan dari pemakaman ego. Apa kabar, Rina? Besok atau lusa, ku tengok kembali tanaman cabai dan ku kirim 10 beg pupuk untuk anggrekmu. Terima kasih.
Manuskrip Gadis Bertubuh Manis. Apakah yang lebih keji selain pantai? Ia mendaratkan banyak kapal berisi penjajah, penyiar agama, dan tikus. Aku terkenang pantai ini yang tak pernah henti mengandung pengkhianat. Apakah yang lebih keji selain pantai? Di dermaganya, ia membuat peluk terlerai, memaksa tangan harus melambai, menyebabkan air mata berderai. Sungguh sulit untuk tak mengenangmu, katamu, seperti menyimpulkan sengsara. Makassar 2008-2010. Terima kasih banyak. Selamat siang.
we apologize for not being able to attend the at the very best level today.
We have learned a lot about Indonesia. We have read in town squares, we have read in auditoriums, but we have also read in some education institutions, in universities and in schools.
Tempat belajar anak meretap saya, melatih anak terbang ke angkasa, menyimak cakrawala baru yang luas, mewariskan kehidupan merdeka, menjadi hidup kayanya sendiri, terbang berkasa mengatasi badai. Mata tajam menembus dalamnya air.
mencari